Well, good afternoon, you crazy kids. How are you? I know this is strange because this is a Tuesday session, which we very, very rarely do. But I didn't do it yesterday, so I got to give my people what they want. I got to give it to them. You know, we're in the business of providing entertainment to people here, and, you know, you got to give the people what they want. I wish Hollywood would listen to that. You got to give the people what they want. I was going to try and do a session last night, but I didn't get back to midnight, and I didn't think you guys would be very happy with me starting a live stream at midnight. But I am going to do a very, very interesting stream with someone special very soon. Is that cryptic enough for you? I look like I hate my hair today. What? What did I do? What did I do? Laurie, no, I just like you got to understand this. If I could get away with it, I'd just shave my head and I wouldn't have to do anything with my hair. I don't care. I don't care. This is what it is. It needs a cut. I don't care. So anyway, to be honest with you, I rarely look in the mirror, so I don't really know what's going on with my hair. So anyway, I'm a bit deflated about that now. Oh dear. Anyways. I get into something because, again, something I said that I think is very kind of innocuous, kind of went a little bit mental again. Why is it when you say things that just seem to be common sense, why is it that they seem to be outrageous these days? Why is that? See now, Laurie, you got me all worried about my hairstyle now. I don't care. I don't care. It's just forever. I'm going to wait for a few more people to hop on because this is a really, really important subject. And I think that I've spoken a lot about preserving the culture and why we should fight to preserve what it means to be American, what it means to be British, what it means to be a Western, someone from the West. And I've said multiple times that I think that the West's culture is superior. I think it is. If it wasn't, I would move to a place where I thought that their culture was superior. Guess what? I'm still here, and I could pretty much go wherever I wanted. So I'm here. So anyway, I'm not going to go on about that now, Texas Laurie. Right? You got in my head now. You're twisting my melon, man. So there's a strange phenomenon that is going on, that goes on social media, especially on X. And I'll tell you what it is. When you say something, you will get it's normally the left, but I can put some other groups into that if you want, because, look, they love being in groups. I don't like groups. I don't like people being categorized by their faith or people categorized by their color or whatever it is. They like that, but I could do that if I really wanted to. But conservatives, for the most part, I think, are honest. I think not the GOP, guys, not the GOP. But I think when you're making comments on X, you're telling the truth. Like, why would you not? So I had an incident this weekend where my son, important, was playing soccer. It's a mixed team, and they played against a Muslim majority team. Now, we've played against them multiple times, beat them. This time we didn't. But at the end, one of the parents said to me, look, they're not shaking the hands of the girls. And I saw something, which I'm going to pull up in a minute. I saw something on social media and I commented on it. I said, look, this happened to my son this weekend, right? The first thing people say, one of the first things they say is, that never happened. Why would I lie about that? I have zero reason to lie about it. I could have commented on the clip. I'm going to show you the clip in a minute. I could have commented on it and had the same point of what I was making by saying that my son was playing this game. I got no reason to lie. That is pure projection on their side because they lie so much about things. The left lies all the time. We've said this before. They are normally guilty of what they accuse you of, right? I wasn't lying, and I made the point. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is a weird take that I saw here, which is kind of like, it kind of disturbed me a little bit. It disturbed me because the response that I got from some, for certain reasons, and the response from others. All right, so I'm going to show you guys. I'm trying to wait for more people to come on, but maybe I'll just go for it. All right, here we go. So this is the comment right here. So as you can see, let me show you the clip. Along comes this fight. He's a great fighter. Look, shake hands, shake hands. Woman goes and he goes, no, I'm not shaking hands. All right. Now, a lot of people will say, well, he's just being respectful. You know, that's his faith. He's just being respectful. All right. And I understand the argument for that. But I want you to look above this. And look at what I wrote. All right. So I wrote, my kid played against them. I feel like you always have to do a disclaimer on this, right? I have no issues with Muslims. I have no issues with Muslims. I have friends that are Muslims. I have no issues with Muslims. I know that people are going to, by the way, people use that argument like, oh, you know, he's got a black friend, therefore he's not racist. Like the very definition of the fact that you have people of color or of people that are different to you in your life probably means that you're not racist, right? Because racists can't stand those people. Ask that guy. Do you remember when I told you about the guy from South Africa, pre-apartheid? In apartheid South Africa, where he couldn't even walk into the room that his maid was in, right? So what I put, my kid played against a Muslim majority team this weekend, and they refused to shake the hands of the girls on his team at the end, right? See that? On his team at the end. I am not the only one who will be complaining to the league about it. Now, I'm just going to go down here, and I want you to see this. First thing, frankly, I don't think shaking hands is even necessary. A verbal acknowledgement of a person is sufficient. That is not the point. At the end of the game, people line up and they shake hands. That is the tradition. That is what people do in the United States. They shake hands. Why? Because it's good sportsmanship. And that is a tradition of the United States, right? Look at this guy here. Don't like the girls being shown respect. Good luck with your complaint. How have we turned this round now to actually shaking hands with someone if you lose the game or even if you win the game, right? We always talk like, don't spike the ball, guys. Don't like cheer and in your face if you win, because that teaches our kids a level of respect and good sportsmanship that you want to show. Not shaking their hand is disrespectful. We've seen this over and over. Someone shakes the hand, they pull their hand away. What does that mean? It is a sign of disrespect. It is saying, I don't respect you. It's saying, I don't want to do this with you or that. We've seen it when, let's just say, Israel has been involved in certain sports and they go up against a Muslim and they won't shake their hand, right? That is a sign of disrespect. It's like, I don't want to shake your hand. I don't agree with you. You can't have it all ways, guys. If you did, and this is another one. Again, have you noticed these are actually white people that are saying this? Would you make them eat bacon? What are you talking about? You can have a restaurant. If someone goes into that restaurant, they should not be banned from serving bacon to someone in the same way that they shouldn't force someone to do that. But when you come into this social contract where everyone's doing it, if you have a problem with girls, don't play the game. Forfeit the game. Forfeit the game. Again, I am not rallying against someone's beliefs. If they want to believe that, go believe it. But you don't get to change our culture. You don't get to do that. Look, shaking hand by a man, with name haram, female is forbidden in Islam. I don't care. I don't care. Don't play the game. Go play other Muslim teams. That is your choice to go do that. And the funny thing is these are the same people, by the way, the lefties that are defending this. They're the same people that want equality for women. Well, that clearly it's not equal. This is a nothing burger. This is nothing. I think it is. Here's again, victim shaming, like, right? Your boy shouldn't be playing on the same team as a girl, should he? What? Now, you're missing the point on this. The team that my son plays with, there's not enough kids to play to have a full boys team. So they have girls in it. I would prefer my son to actually play on an all boys team because I don't think that in a physical game like that, you know, you do get to an age where the physical differences start to show. But again, these people are making straw man arguments. All right, see, Colin gets it here. Look, if these people can't integrate and play as we do, they shouldn't be included. Look, here we go. I don't touch the hand of any other woman who is not my mother or my wife. This means also no handshaking if it is a woman, even if she is a queen. My faith, my body, and my choice. All right, well then you shouldn't be in that situation. Look at this guy here. So invite them in and whinge when they don't go along with the culture. Could the British be any more fucking entitled? He says it. What? I'm going back here. A little bit of housekeeping. Honesty and truth in the hizzle. You have to wonder why recreational drugs are allowed. Possibly some help with MS and other illnesses. Ludicrous that heroin and cocaine, etc. are available. Same could be said for alcohol harms another. I'm not entirely sure what that was with, but we always put honesty and truth up there. Honesty and truth is awesome. And of course, honesty and truth gets one of these. Okay. This is very, very serious. Most people might go, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? It's a big deal because where does it end? And I want to make this clear. I have no problem with them, those guys in their religion, saying, I do not shake the hand of a woman. I'm saying for them, like, if they want to take that, that's up to them. But here, these are our rules. They're our rules. And if you are going to participate in this league, playing against God, you participate in it and you do what is the norm. Can you imagine, let's just put it another way. They're like, oh, they're Muslim. No, we can't say that about it. Okay, what if my team goes out, absolutely gets hammered by this team, and they all refuse to shake the hand? Would you try and make some kind of insinuation that is respectful? Like what kind of like mental gymnastics do you have to go through to try and get to that situation? That conclusion? I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was saying that when he went to work in Saudi Arabia, he had to sign, he called them the Saudi 10 Commandments. He had to sign something saying that he would respect their culture. I love that. I love that. I have no problem with this. This is the problem. You bring up something like this topic that nobody wants to talk about, right? Because they're afraid of being called racist and whatever. But nobody calls the Saudis that. Mate, it's not about race anyway. It's about religion, but that's a whole other thing. I have no problem with the Saudis doing that. And if I go to Saudi Arabia, I will sign that piece of paper and I will respect them. It's not rocket science. We are having our good nature and our presumption that other people are going to behave in the same way to us. We're having that being abused and we're being taken advantage of. If you are playing a team, the norm in the United States of America is you shake their hand. That is it. You shake their hand at the end. If you don't want to play with girls, walk off the team and don't play with them. I hate to tell you, when you're playing soccer, it's a contact sport, right? You're going to be touching girls if you're playing against them. See how it's like there's no consistency, no logical consistency? But at the end, you want to turn around and go, no, I'm not shaking their hand. Imagine what that makes those girls feel, how it makes them feel. Imagine what a precedent that sets. So all of a sudden now, it doesn't matter if you don't shake their hand. So what if we said, we're not shaking their hand? Can you imagine if we said we're not shaking their hands? Oh my gosh, we would get kicked out the league like that. And so you see, it begins, right? Whoomp. What you're seeing in the UK. One rule for one group of people, another rule for another group of people, because we don't want to be called bad names. It has to end. It has genuinely shocked me. It genuinely shocked me. I think that the UK is in a whole load of trouble, right? I never thought I'd see this in the United States. I never did. I never, ever, ever did. Honesty and Truth again gives one Matthew Marsden channel membership to Hoot and Holler. Hoot and Holler, you go over and thank the awesome Honesty and Truth, and you get the sparkles. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So this is where we are. What we're being told is our culture, our traditions mean nothing. They mean nothing. We have to bend and bow to everybody else. It is unacceptable. What is next? Because if you've got people that they're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep pushing. Oh no, we can't ask them to shake hands. We can't ask them to do that. Okay, well now you've got to have halal meat. You've got to have that because that would offend. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, we can't offend them. They can offend us, right? But we can't offend them. The reason why I'm saying this, guys, is that it is going to end badly. There is no social cohesion that comes from this. We never had this problem growing up. We were around Muslims when we were growing up. There was never a problem when we were growing up because they knew, they were grateful to be there, and they're like, listen, this is our faith, we're keeping it private, but when we have to go out and we have to be in the world, we're in Great Britain and we want to be here, so we're adhere to their traditions. Now they're changing it. And it is causing disruption, disunity. And people are getting very, very pissed off with it. Spider Unlimited in the hizzle. Come on, let's get that up, Spider. Here we go. Spider Unlimited with 5 Matthew Marsden channel memberships. Coffee and chocolate games. I like that. I got my coffee. Where's my chocolate? Chrome. Princess Carol. Jose Ricardo Dones, I don't know. Wendy B, you guys got a membership from the most awesome Spider Unlimited, so you go over there and you thank him. You thank him. Building the community. So again, look, people will try and angle this. Oh, here's the other thing that people said on that thread. Firstly, they said, why do you want strangers to touch your daughter? I'm like, I said on his team. And this really disturbed me. And I you know me, guys, I'm not one for hyperbole. I'm just not. When they're saying, why do you want a man to touch your daughter? Are you telling me that shaking someone's hand is somehow sexual? Is that what you're telling me? That is totally puzzling to me. And if you go and have a look on X, you go and have a look, it's bum, 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 bum. Why do you want a man to touch your daughter? Why do you want a man to touch your daughter? Why do you want strangers to touch your girls? I'm like, what are you talking about? It is a Western tradition and it's polite. You can't get anything less formal. All right, okay, apart from not touching, but then shaking someone's hand. In Great Britain and in the USA, you shake someone's hand. In Italy, it's the 2 kisses, right? Same with France as well. They'll kiss you on your cheek. Less formal. That's their culture. Hardy, here's the thing. It's not trolling. It's what they believe. This is the problem. It's what they believe. Which is bizarre if you want to look at the statistics on other things, if you know what I'm saying. So what they are doing is they are forcing you to leave your culture. They're forcing you to accept what they want. And I'm not going to have it. And again, this isn't about Muslims. This is about people that come into the country. I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you are Christians from Poland, whether you're Muslims from Saudi Arabia, or whether you are the Japanese coming into this country. You're not going to force me to bow. Because that is your culture. No. We're not going to do it. You guys have got to understand what is going on. And I watch this and I'm like, this is the crack. This is the meh. I'm going to give you an example, right? And if my friends are watching this, they'll know this. I think I mentioned this the other day. Where I got a church, the pastor came out the other day and he said, hey guys, I'm going to have a Spanish mass. We're going to start a Spanish mass. And I'm like, no, you're not. If you do, I'm leaving the church. This church, I'm going. Why? Because 2 of the services are standing room only right now in English mass. 2 of them. Why aren't you concerned about doing a 3rd English-speaking mass? Why? There's a church down the street that has 5 Spanish-speaking services on a Sunday. Why do you have to do it? There's going to be 10 people turn up. Why are you doing it? There is always an agenda. And so I'm talking about, this is a Catholic priest. Because you know what it does? It separates people. It makes them go into their separate enclave. It's not bringing people together. The Catholic Church, the literal name Catholic means universal. It means everybody together. So why, when you have a packed mass, 2 packed masses, are you going to go and do another one that's Spanish, that's going to separate people out and that people like me can't go to? And by the way, I spoke to my friend about this as well. He said, when I studied in Mexico, I used to go to my church and there were no masses in English. Good. Good, you're in Mexico. And he said it. He said, I have no problem with it because I'm in Mexico. They speak Spanish. I've got to learn it. What is the problem with this? It's very, very consistent. This is very consistent. It's nothing to do with race or religion. It's to do with our culture. It's to do with what it means to be an American, what it means to be British. By the way, I had this argument with somebody. There's a Sikh guy in the UK, and they're turning around to him and they're saying, you're not British, you're not British. This guy's more British than any, the majority of the lefties over there. He loves his country. He says, keep England the way it is. That's why I'm here. I love it. I love British culture. I'm like, this is the guy. Like, this is the model. Don't berate him because he's brown-skinned and he wears a turban. That's ridiculous. He's a good man. He comes here. He was born here, or he's born here, or he came there, and he embraces British culture. That's what you want. With immigration, that's what you want. I don't understand this. It's not racial. I am an Englishman that moved to the United States. I became an American, and you heard me. I am an American. I have embraced the culture. It doesn't matter that I'm white. What matters is that there's the British culture and there's the American culture, and it's similar but not the same. Ask most Brits if they think you should carry a gun, if you want to dispute that. Ask most Brits if they think that they have freedom of speech. They don't understand they don't have freedom of speech. It's certainly not like how we do here. I assimilated into the culture. That's it. When I went to Malta, I said to my wife, I want to learn Maltese. She won't teach me because it's very difficult. But I said, I want to learn Maltese. I want to know the culture. I want to know I'll give you an example. Here's an example. I was at the table, at the dinner table at my in-laws' house, who are the greatest human beings on the planet. I'll tell you, I adore them. I adore my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. They're the greatest people. I'm very fortunate. And they said to me, give me the potatoes. And this little thing inside me went, Rup. Then they went, give me the carrots. And inside, I'm getting a little bit pissed off. Right? Because I'm like, and after a while I went, hey, do you guys say please? And I didn't say it in an arrogant way. I said, do you say please? Because you're saying, give me this. And my brother-in-law went, oh, he goes, in Maltese, it's teeny. Teeny, give me. It's not impolite for them to say that. Do you get what I'm saying? My bad. That's on me. Because they're speaking English in their country, which speaks English and Maltese, but I didn't know. So from there on in, when they said, give me this, give me that, I'm not all bent out of shape about it because it's not impolite to them. I had to change. It is my responsibility to change because I am in their country and that is their culture. Is it really that difficult? You get these differences even in places like Italy or France. You get these like different, like little cultural differences, but it is different. But it is, if you are a guest in that country, it is on you. It is your responsibility to change to their culture, not the other way around. Spider Unlimited in the house says culture is what makes countries and their people unique, and it should implore us to learn more, assimilate out of respect, and mend mutual friendships. I remember once when I met my wife's aunt, and she came in, and the Maltese like speak half in English, half in Maltese. It's really difficult, and they don't do it conscientiously. Again, that's something else I had to learn. But you know what my father-in-law does? When I'm out, because they see me as part of the family, I'm with everybody. I'll go out and they're a big family, right? So I'm out. He makes a point of telling people to speak in English because I'm there. Now, I'm not asking that, but they do it out of respect for me because they love me and they understand that that might isolate me a little bit. That's a different thing. I'm not asking for that. They just want to include me with what's going on. So I've literally experienced this in my own life twice. Having a place in Malta and going there, living there for a bit, on and off, and then coming to America. I also experienced it when I was doing Anacondas in Fiji, and I got invited. I told you guys once, one of the guys on set, who was the son of the chief, died. And I was invited to his funeral. I had to go. I wanted to go because I wanted to pay my respects. But that is the culture. If you get invited, you have to go. So I went, and they had kava. If you guys don't know what kava is, it looks like dirty dishwater, and you drink it from this ceremonial bowl. I think I got one somewhere. I didn't want to drink it, but I drank it because that's their culture. I'm in their country. I don't want to offend them. Now, I understand there are sometimes there are things that you just can't do, like if someone's drinking something. I had this in Turkey. I got to tell you, I had this in Turkey when I was going up the mountain. It is their custom with the Kurds to go and drink with them at night. So I went and drank with them at night to build my rapport with them. So it's not like I'm not practicing what I preach. There are certain things that in American culture that as a Brit, I've gone, that's kind of weird. But I got over that because I assimilated, and I was like, what is the mindset behind this? Why are they doing this? What is the reason for this? I think it's strange here in Texas that you can't go to Costco and buy hard liquor. You can't go to the supermarket and buy hard liquor. You have to go to a separate place that is just for liquor and get whatever gin and whatever, and they don't open on Sunday. I accept it because I chose to live in Texas. It's a minor inconvenience, right? Because when you have people over on a barbecue on a Sunday and you want to go and get them a drink, and then you're like, oh, can't do it, everything's shut. That's the culture. That's the state I wanted to be in. The problem is we are not defending our own culture. People cave in the spirit of let's all get on. Let's all get along. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Because as you have seen, hey, listen, let's just give amnesty to all these people who are here, and then we'll close the borders and they won't do it anymore. How did that work out? America's culture has been changed by the influx of immigrants into this country. It's been changed. The UK is done. It's done. There's either going to be a complete capitulation or there's going to be violence in the streets. Neither of which are good. But that's where you are because you didn't have the balls to defend your own culture because you didn't think it was important. The country that gave us G.K. Chesterton, that, okay, Northern Ireland, but C.S. Lewis, Hilaire Belloc, William Shakespeare, the country that did all this has just rolled over like a lame dog and said, come in and take it all. It doesn't matter. My history, my great proud history doesn't mean anything anymore. It's not as good as yours. Are you serious? Isaac Newton? I mean, what are you saying? Spider Unlimited in the house for $10. I was in Italy, held a taxi and told it wasn't the driver's turn and to wait for the next guy. Got mad, but I had to pull back, humble and remind myself that is their culture, their rules. That's what I'm talking about, my man. However frustrating it is, you're in their country. You might look at them and go, oh, these guys look the same. We have different cultures, and that's great. That's why I want to go to Italy. I want to experience another culture. I don't want it to be this just sludge that everyone's the same. I remember people saying to me, you know, Italy, do you know what it's like to go to a coffee shop in Italy? Making an espresso is an art form. And I used to think, honestly, I remember this being in England, because you're like, oh, you know, the Italians, you know, they're on one side in the war, then they went on the other side of the war. It's like, and then they're kind of berated a little bit. And then you go there, you're like, this is amazing. Like, these guys have fantastic food, fantastic wine, the beautiful, beautiful scenery. The fashion's amazing, and they make great cars. They do break down, but they make great cars. And the history is incredible. Go there and appreciate it. If you want to be like that, like them, if you want to be in that culture, guess what? They will accept you if you become like them. But if you go there and try and, this is the way I am, I'm an Englishman and I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. Someone said this the other day about Spain. They were like, oh, look, is this assimilating? Yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong. They shouldn't be like that in a foreign country. And guess what? The Spanish let them. And that's on the Spanish. I've been all over Spain. I've been all around all the different coasts. I've been up into the San Sebastian, into the mountains with the, what are they called now? The Basque. Been into the Basque region. It's amazing. I want to experience Spain. I don't experience England in Spain. Honestly, this is actually a real appreciation of other cultures. But you ain't making me change, dude. You're not doing it. I'm not going to bend the knee to you. And the more that we say this, the less conflict we're going to have. But unfortunately, because people have been so spineless for so long, conflict is coming because it's incompatible. You got it right there. I'm talking about something they should have shook everyone's hand, because that's the way we do it in America. It's good sportsmanship. Oh no, well, it's because that's their religious beliefs. Don't play the game. Don't go. Do your own little league. You can do that. They'll allow you to do it. Honesty and truth for 10 English pounds. Difference in respecting a culture and alternative and trying to repress the homeland culture. UK, France, Holland, Belgium is the most Western, and most Western European countries. The EU is going to collapse. Listen, they are going to have violence like you have never seen before throughout Europe. And there's this weird mentality where they say, well, you bombed them. You bombed them, so you can't complain about them coming in. Yes, you can, actually. You can do whatever you want. It's your country. This has happened for millennia. I don't see the argument made for Iraq, which was a Christian country. Well, you know, it was a Christian country, and then you guys came in and you took it up. Nobody ever makes that argument. Nobody ever makes that argument because you can't. It's the same thing about here when people are going, you stole land. I'm like, the Cherokee stole land, the the Mohicans start. You can go back and back and back. Every single Native American tribe took land from the other because that's the way life is. It's this like weird mentality where they don't recognize history and they don't recognize the human condition, which is they will try and conquer at some point. In fact, we're in a period of time where that has been the least likely. Most people if we would have gone back like 200 years and took the mentality from them and what happened with the Iraq War, they would have just completely taken over those countries and gone, I'm sorry, it's ours now. But no, what happened is we went over, fiddled around a bit, lost a lot of very, very great men, right? Came back and it descended back into chaos again. Good job. And by the way, not everyone is down with those wars. Some of us have been talking about Trump and the fact that he's not going to start any new wars. And they can't get these two things together, right? They can't get it together. The liberals don't understand this. It's like, can't get this together. But here's the thing. We owe the world nothing. Nothing. We don't owe people things because we went over and we fought over it. We don't. I'm sorry, we don't. We lost hundreds of thousands of young Americans and Brits over there. We don't owe them a thing. Stop with this mentality. They don't have that mentality. They're coming over here. And I hate to say this, but the point of me saying this is, this isn't going to make a harmonious world. This is the problem. You think by giving it all up, he's going to make everything nice. And it's just not. That's not the way it's going to be. And I don't want the world going into more chaos. And this isn't racist. It's not sexist. It's not. If anything, I'm turning down and going, you guys should have shook the hand of the girls. They're like, no, we shouldn't. Yeah, I'm the problem? Well, how has it got the UK, guys? How has it got the UK? I'm asking my Brits out there, are you okay to walk out at night? Are you worried about walking the streets of the UK now? Let me tell you this, and this is a thing about the EU. My wife would walk in Malta, because Malta wasn't a part of the EU. Like, I don't know when I met her, it wasn't a part of the EU. She could walk home as a 15-year-old, because they have different cultures. They could walk home as a 15-year-old at 1 o'clock in the morning. Do you think that number one, do you think that you could do that in Malta now? No. Do you think you could do that in America now? No. Do you think you could do that in England now? No. Why? Why? Maybe there are some criminals here, right? There are some perverts here in American society, and we need to deal with that. But it doesn't help that you're importing all these other people that you don't know their background. You don't know what they've done over there. There's no record. You want to hear something scary? Speak to Tim Clemente about Somalia, about the fact that when he was in a cab I think it was in New York, and he heard the guy that was driving the cab, and he knew he was from a certain area and from a certain tribe because of the accents they study in the FBI. He knew that he was from an area that was a hotbed of terrorism. Now, I'm not saying that this person hasn't come over and changed his life. What if he hasn't? Didn't this guy that just came in overstayed his visa, that just went and killed people, planning it? And us idiots are letting these people in? By the way, they don't care who they kill when they do stuff like this. They don't care. I've said this over and over again. The biggest killer of Muslims is other Muslims. So they have, the peaceful Muslims have just as much to worry about. This isn't a race. It's not a religious thing. I feel like I have to keep saying it over and over and over again because people go, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. It's not. And by the way, you only need a fraction of a radical group and you're in trouble. things will get bad and there will not be any discernment between the groups. This is my point. Why can't we have this logical discussion? Go and ask Hindus and Sikhs how they are lumped in with other faiths. They are. They're completely different faiths. This is because when things get like this, the lines get blurred and people just go for the lowest common denominator. That's it. And you know what that is? The way they look. You guys get what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying. It's the same way people are like, oh, white people, white privilege. Really? My white privilege? Growing up in a working class council estate with a single mom? How privileged was that? We didn't even have a car. I didn't even have a shower till I think I was 15, 14 maybe. We didn't even have a shower. We were that poor. So what I'm saying is, guys, this is all about preserving and being good for everybody. This isn't like, look, how do you think it would have been if that team shook the hand of the girls? I'd have been like, fair enough. Good sports. Now, what do you think about that? It's the principle of it. It is the destruction of an American tradition, and it will not stop there. That's the point. And I have seen the country of my birth abandon its history, abandon its great history, and continually be told that it's bad. Go and watch Dunkirk. Go and watch 1917 and come back to me and tell me about the massive sacrifices that great men did to keep this world free. And you're telling me that that country is bad? No. It's embarrassing to me. It's embarrassing to me that people don't turn around and go, I am not. There are people doing it, by the way, but the people en masse go, no, we're not having this. We're not having you do this. You want to protest about Palestine? Go. Go over there and protest. I'll put you on the flight. You can go. And again, you want to protest about Ukraine? Go over to Ukraine. I want to take care of British veterans. I want to take care of American veterans. I want to take care of the old people that built the country and that are now being cast out for other people. Because the fear that they're going to be called names. The politicians are pathetic. They have no spine. It disgusts me. And by the way, I'm talking about old people. Old Indian people? Yeah. Old Jamaicans? Yes. This is or was the British society. You look after them. It's not about the color. It's not about the race. It's just not. I'm telling you, it worries me because there will be a tipping point and it's real close. It's real close. And the reason why the government squeezes down, I'm going to say it on people like Tommy Robinson, is because they can. That's why. Again, abusing the good nature of the people in the UK. Abusing the good nature of the people in the United States of America until it gets to a point, how many people have got to die? How many people have got to be attacked? How many, that poor girl that got stabbed in my hometown, that should have been enough. One person, done. No more immigration. Stop. Laken Riley gets killed, close the borders. She's never coming back. Do you understand that? She's never coming back. And that is the politician's fault. And by the way, by politician, I also mean the people that elected them. I just wish that people would take a step back and really look at where this is going. It is going to be more pain for people in the long run. It is going to be, I can't even say it because, I'm sure I'll get taken off YouTube, but you all know what it is. There's going to be a flashpoint. Somebody's going to say, enough, I'm done. Something's going to happen. I mean, you saw it a little bit with those 3 beautiful girls that got killed. That should have been the end of it. That should have been it. There should have been no more immigration at all. At all. Are you telling me you're going to argue against that with what happened there? And I don't want to hear this like, oh, well, it wasn't an immigrant. It was the son of. In America, we don't know who is here. We don't know. This is insane. People don't understand that there are countries that want to destroy the United States, and we're like, it's just immigration. You can't say anything. There's going to be so much destruction because of this. It is a failure, like I said at the beginning, it is a failure to understand human nature. It is living in this bubble, this stupid bubble, where everyone thinks the same as you. Guys, I'm not into nation building. I'm not. I think that you're in Afghanistan, you want to live as a Muslim, Godspeed to you. That's fine. Good on you. That is your... I have no issue with that. And if you go over there and try and tell them how to live their lives, that's on you. Who do you think you are to do that? I have the same response to Westerners going over there as I do to them coming over here. It's very consistent. Trevor Colt, my guy. Oh, we got Spider in the house for 10 pundits. Also, while in Italy, Clark was helping me in Florence. He saw my name on credit card, identified as a Sicilian roots, which he was born and raised, and we spoke culture and background. Mine American, his Sicilian. It's great. You can appreciate the beauty of other cultures. You can appreciate the beauty of other faiths. It's okay. I keep saying this, even I am a Catholic. I never, ever try and convert someone to my faith. Now, most people say, well, you should be out there evangelizing. I'm just living my life and trying to be a good example. I've got to fix all the crap in my life. I've got a lot of work to do on me as a man. Me as a father, me as a husband, me as a friend. I don't have time to go out and evangelize to people because they could quite easily point the finger at me and go, well, who are you? I'm like, fair enough. I'm going to work on myself. Hopefully, if some people see that and go, hey, you know what? There are many different ways. There's a great phrase where it says, preach the gospel and sometimes use words. Hang on a minute. Zephyr, We have Zephyr in the house. Hold on, I'll just get this. I have not seen Zephyr for a little while. I'm giving her the love right now. Hey, Zephyr. So again, tell me, I want you to yay or nay. Is what I say reasonable? Yes or no? Is it reasonable? I think it is. I think it's consistent. I think it is truly caring. It's kind of like when you have your kids, do you let them just go and eat whatever they want? Or are you strict with them and say, no, you can't have that? That doesn't mean you hate your kids. It actually means you love them. And you have to give them proper boundaries. And we kind of, think that we have to let people do everything and everything goes, and that is good. It's not at all. Clover Queen says, Matthew, when Catholic friends ask me what centers me you're easygoing. I say, what centers you, you're easygoing. My faith. Listen, you have like personality traits yourself. I've said this before about my kids, right? Like my kids have all different personality traits, even though they're brought up in the same household. Oh, by the way, I've got to tell you guys this. My wife was told today, I don't know if you know this, she was told today that you give the most nutrients as a mom to your firstborn. Then you give less and less nutrients to the kids as they go along, which also depletes your nutrients as well. And so the older kids will need less supplementation in their lives. Isn't that amazing? Than the younger ones. That's really amazing. So I look at my kids and I see the different personalities, and you have like personality traits, right? So like for me, when I get animated, some people will go, oh, you're angry. I'm not angry. I'm passionate. And that's the way it comes across, right? That's the way it comes across. But that is a personality trait. It's not indicative of my faith. In fact, a lot of the times you have to work through your negative personality traits through your religion, through your faith, because you understand that those tendencies might not be good. It's a good barometer. So for me, I want more people to talk to each other. I've said this before on here. This is why building this community is so important. I want there to be more conversations. I want there to be more discussions. I don't want people to throw the baby out with the bathwater when they disagree with someone. I want to see the nuance. I had a whole show about nuance. It's really important. We've been conditioned, and the youngsters are conditioned for the sound bites and the hot takes, right? And we got to just pump the brakes on that and say, hang on a second. Like I said, Muslims want to live their lives the way they want to live it. That's fine. I don't want anyone telling me how to live my Catholic faith. Okay? I can relate to that. But I don't get to force my religion on others. And there's a very big difference between, by the way, because this is a funny thing. Some people say, well, you guys say this about transgender or whatever it might be. And I'm like, that is a science thing that happens to mesh with faith. Because faith and science complement each other. Or they should. If they don't, then you have an issue. So when you are saying these things, there's degrees of nuance. So again, I would love to hear you guys. Am I being reasonable? I think I'm being reasonable. I have people that are Jewish, friends of mine, and they turn everything off on a Friday night, and that's it. You don't hear from them again. All right. They don't ask me to do it. They go off and they do their thing. And I'm like, all right, respect them. That's okay. And if someone comes to me and says, hey, listen, I can't do this on that day because of X, Y, or Z, I'll be like, okay. They're not asking me. I might want to offer to change for them. Do you get what I'm saying? If you're in a partnership, say this all the time. Some people go, oh, I'm not going out. The missus had nagged me, blah, blah, blah. My wife never nags me on going out or seeing people or meeting with people. Never. But I self-regulate. I look and I go, is this going to put my wife under more pressure? I.e., are we preparing for a party? Are we doing something in the house? And does me going away, does that put more pressure on her? If the answer is yes, then I have a decision to make. Do I do it or don't I? The majority of times I don't, because she's my priority. She doesn't have to tell me to do it. That is a functioning relationship. Because then you don't feel controlled by one another. I'm going to make the best decision that I can make based upon my hierarchy of needs. And right at the top, I want to love and respect my wife. It's just very simple. Now, it doesn't mean, sometimes you can, that doesn't always work, right? There can be crossed wires, or sometimes you can be expected to behave a certain way, you don't, or whatever that might be. But I find that. I was saying this the other day to my friends. My friends are like, hey, do you want to come out? Do you want to come? We're having beers, or we're going to go and watch a football game. And I go, no. And I'm like, oh, you never come around. I'm like, because my wife has to put all these kids to bed every night, and I don't want her to do it all by herself. I want to show her how much I appreciate her by being there and taking the load. She never asks me. I know I'm very lucky. I've got a great relationship and I have a really terrific wife, right? I got a terrific wife. So like I was away yesterday and I got back late with one of my daughters. All the kids were asleep. Everything was done. And that was it. So I said today, hey, listen, you want to do this? You go and do it. I've got everything. Don't worry. And that's the way that I find that balance works. Okay. And I think that taking that approach into all these other things really matters and it really works. If the captain of the team or the coach of the team would have come up to the coach at the beginning of the Muslim team, would have said, hey, listen, it's our faith that we don't touch strange, people that we don't know or girls that we don't know. Would you mind if we don't shake hands at the end of the game? I would have said, thank you so much for your for giving us a heads up. Okay. Do you see the difference? It's all about respect, communication. But no, the arrogance is, no, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it, So again, as I showed you on that piece earlier on, the response was weird. The response is, why do you want us to touch your daughters? What? These are a bunch of kids shaking hands at the end of a football game. What are you talking about? Soccer game. What are you saying? And to me, I'm like, well, you have that, Anyway, I won't even go there. I was going to say that little self-control, but that's up to you, right? Don't be involved in that league. Don't do it. If we keep giving up inch by inch our traditions and our norms and the things that we hold dear, the whole reason for doing that. Think about this. You play a game, you finish. What is the tradition of shaking hands for? What is that for? You guys tell me, what is it for? Because a lot of people just finish the game, off they go. Done. It is about who you are. It is about showing that you can be magnanimous in victory, right? And gracious in defeat. That's what it's all about. It's teaching people a higher order of living. And it starts with the kids. And what you're seeing right now with the kids that throw a tantrum when they don't get what they want is a lack of this. There is a lack of respect for one another. You are learning sportsmanship. There's a reason why that thing was created. We've seen this over and over. Why is it that we feel more compassion? I've seen it where, people have stopped to pick people up who are racing and they've lost the race. And we don't go, yeah, you should have just left them on the side of the road and won the race. No, we love the people who slow down and stop and help the person and put their own needs secondary. It's sacrificial. It shows that you are a better person. It shows you the hierarchy of your needs. As a Christian, we want to get to heaven. What does that mean? Sacrificial love, putting others in front of yourself, doing the right thing. So we tell people, why do we look at what we think about this? Like, you see someone score a goal. Why do they have mercy? Why do soccer teams pull off their best players when they're smashing another team? Like, you've seen it when you've played even in football, like American football, when you're playing another team and you're clearly better than them. Why does the coach make the decision to pull off the players, the best players, so that they don't blow them out? This is an American and British tradition. It is saying we are worth more and mean more than the victory. The victory is there. What you do when you win is what matters. What you do when you lose is what matters. By the way, one of the things that one of the kids said when they came off was like, well, they had a bunch of, because we didn't have, as I said before, we barely made enough for the team. And when they came off, one of the kids said, oh, yeah, but, they've got, normal thing, the kids said, they've got, a bunch of substitutes and they just kept swapping them out and we're tired. And I went, stop. Take the L. It's okay. No complaining. And looking the other way, I could have gone, yeah, you're right? They had a bunch of, yeah, you were really aggrieved and that was, no, you're like, dude, learn a life lesson. Life isn't fair. You know what I said to my son? He said, I was running. Oh, Dad, I was really tired. I went, get fitter. Put the work in. See the difference in approach, see the difference in the mentality. Now, you might disagree with that, but I don't want whiners when they come off. I don't want excuses. It's not an excuse. Sometimes you just get beat. That's life. Sometimes someone's better than you. Sometimes you're better than them. What does it do to a person when you're beating them and you keep getting in their face and shoving their face in it? What does that do to them, and what does that say about you? We've seen it in one of the clearest examples of this is when you're in a boxing ring and you are absolutely beating the crap out of somebody. You've seen boxers like hold off. They're like, I'm not going to do it. Why? You've got the win right there. Because that person's life is worth more than the win. I'm just saying, we have a decision to make. And look, guys, I've gone on about this over and over and over again on this channel about getting involved, about being a participant in this. The other side, comments. Not that many from our side. Just looking at the Clover Queen. That's funny. Spider Unlimited. Look at this. For $5, as I believe Churchill paraphrased, if you're going through hell, just keep going. Or the Rocky Six dialogue about life says it best. It's true. When he says in Rocky Balboa, it ain't about how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. That's what matters. It's not about losing. It's how you behave when you lose. It's not about winning. It's about the way you behave in victory. It's really, really important. Humility is a virtue. False humility isn't, but humility is a virtue. Goodbye, Clover Queen. So anyway, again, just recapping, didn't lie about it. That's what happens. That's what happened. I will be complaining. And I'm complaining. I don't like doing that because I'm complaining because I think that we have to stop this rot. Else it'll be the next thing. It'll be the next thing. It'll be the next thing. And all of a sudden, you have to fight this. You have to go out there and fight it. You have to go out and stand. It's funny. I had someone. I'm just going to say this. I had someone today because I was talking about like the pride flags everywhere and the football teams like changing their logos to pride. Really? I mean, most of the guys I know, they're over it. Like they're like, oh, this is just like doing my head in now. Until you stop going and watching them, until you stop buying their merchandise, it is never going to end. They are pandering to this many people, and even that many people in that movement, it's even a fraction of that. They're not down with it. But people just keep giving them their money. It's insane. And yet people will say, I'm not clicking subscribe on your channel because it's Google. I'm like, you go and watch the Buffalo Bills, don't you? Oh, you go and watch all New England Patriots. I will never watch a New England Patriot game again. It's got to end. It's all virtue signaling, and it's got nothing to do with life. It's got nothing to do with the sport. And let me tell you something. If they came out and said, hey, this is Catholic Awareness Month, I'll be like, what are you doing? It's funny because nobody gives a damn that we celebrate 4th of July. Nobody goes, oh, well, there are Brits in America and we probably shouldn't do that because that's going to offend them. Nobody cares. and they are right not to care. Again, I'm just practicing what I preach. It is very linear and very consistent. But if you keep caving on these things and you aren't sure about who you are yourself, it's never going to end. It's just going to keep going, keep going. There's going to be another grievance. There's going to be another grievance. There's going to be another grievance. It's just going to keep going. And what the commies have done, the Marxists have managed to split us up into so many fragmented groups that it's never going to end, because everyone is going to have an axe to grind. Like I said, why in the church I go to, they're doing a Spanish mass? Why not a Vietnamese mass? Why not a Portuguese mass? When does it end? Stick your flag in the ground, say, we're in America, English masses, learn English. Imagine how that, and I'm gonna just summarize this. I'm gonna go a little bit longer today because I want to summarize this because it's very important. Why am I saying all this? Why am I saying about focusing on your cultural heritage? Well, it anchors your national identity. This is very important. I was having a discussion about this the other day. Like, what is American art? Like, what is that? Oddly enough, the American art, the pinnacle of American art is cinema. For whatever that means anymore. Look at American individualism. Now, I've been a little bit critical of, people being individualistic and then not coming together when they need to fight for something. But it is a great trait. It's the thing that says go out there and make something of yourself. It doesn't define you. The world doesn't define you. Or look at the parliamentary system in the UK. That is a great system, or should be, if you had good people in it. And what that has done has spread a lot of freedom around the world. That model. It also fosters social cohesion. If you are united on stuff, I'll give the Spanish mass example. That's important because what you are doing is, this is in the Catholic faith, so it's got nothing to do with another faith. It just shows I'm being consistent. It's no prejudice. What I'm saying is if you are in the United States, say the mass in Spanish, in English. I'll start that again. If you are in the United States, say the mass in English. You shouldn't have options for Spanish on the phone when you call up somewhere. Para español, marque nuevo, whatever it is. You shouldn't have that. It should be English. Guess what? Everyone can talk. Everyone can communicate together. There are less barriers to each other getting on. By the way, a few people have said in the comments, should be Latin Mass. Yeah, it should be. And that's the thing. The church, for 1,500 years, had the Bible in Latin. Why? Because everyone that could speak or could read, read Latin. So it united them. Funny, innit? They'd figured this out years ago. Right. It also preserves historical lessons. Look at like the Constitution. By being proud of your heritage, you get to examine why you're proud of your heritage. What happened? What lessons did you have from the past that made it where you are now? And it's no coincidence that we very rarely talk about our past, or the Marxists pull down statues. They don't want to talk about the past, either right or wrong, like bad or good. I want those statues up there because I want to have a conversation about it. All right. It inspires more artistic innovation as well. If you think about what Shakespeare has done for the world, it's inspired so much around the world because it's excellence. That's excellence. In the same way, if you look at kabuki theater in Japan, that's inspired a whole ton of different theater styles. And if you didn't have kabuki theater in Japan, you wouldn't have the Japanese movie directors who make these movies that inspire people like Quentin Tarantino. You see how it goes. It's so important for people to know about their roots and to understand. The ignorance that we have in America right now about America's history is staggering. It's really staggering. It's important because it teaches you what it means to be great, and it shows you where people have made mistakes, and also shows you the fragility of the human condition and how you got to be careful, because things can spiral really quickly. This is why it's so insidious that people are calling people that they disagree with Nazis, because it has immediately just kind of said, this is the Nazi movement, right, back there. There's no examination of how evil it was. And now it's just become, that is somebody that I don't like. I saw something on X where it said, we literally have Nazis in this country. I'm like, really? You have people like rounding people up on boxcars and executing them? It does two things. It really dehumanizes what happens. It trivializes what happened. And it dehumanizes people now. And it gives permission to the wackadoodles to exert whatever kind of retribution they want to do on the people they disagree with, because Nazism is evil. But people don't even know these days. It's hard for us, right? It's hard for us Gen X to understand this, that people don't even know what that was. They don't even have a concept of it. They don't have a concept of communism. They haven't lived. We lived through the 80s with the specter of nuclear war over us because of the Soviet Union. That's gone. So people don't understand what it is, and they start like preaching about it. I'm like, you guys don't know that like communism kind of killed hundreds of millions of people? Oh, but they didn't do it right. I'm a big one as well for when you're talking about preserving culture. Like I said to my wife, you should really talk to the kids in Maltese. Maltese as a language will be gone because everyone's speaking English. Now, I'm an English speaker, and I'm telling my wife she should teach my kids Maltese. It's important to preserve that. Again, they're Americans, but they have a history, and I think it's important for them to understand their heritage. That doesn't mean it should supersede everything else, supersede their American heritage. It shouldn't. But understanding where they come from is important. But they're all Americans. And I think that what that does is that teaches them, hey, listen, my dad is English or was English, my mom's Maltese, but I'm an American. And that's it. I'm an American. And so one of the things that I would say about the United States that I don't like, and it's not really a criticism of the country, but it's kind of like the way it is with capitalism, is that you can go around the world and find a McDonald's. I don't want that. I want to go to a place in Italy where they're going to cook me whatever the local dish is. So I rally actually against that expansion, right? I want to go and experience these different cultures. And that's why when most people come to America, it seems so familiar to them, because America has exported its culture brilliantly, if you want to look at that, into other cultures. But I actually don't really like that, to be honest. It's my own thing. What you have seen when this is probably the most important thing that I'm going to say, is what you have seen. If you do not maintain a strong sense of cultural identity, you have the cultures that come in, we just spoke about this, fighting for dominance. Again, you can deny reality all you want. You can deny the way that history has been. But the fact is you're inviting different cultures into your country, and they're going to fight for the top space. You don't think I'm telling the truth? I just showed you a picture on X, right? Or if you go over on X, you can see there's a picture of this girl and she's smoking a cigar and she's like, don't worry, I'm not becoming Presbyterian. And I'm like, why are you even saying that? Like, so what? What's wrong with Presbyterians? Now, this is a person that has attacked Catholics for days and days and days. And my point is, and has always been, you're next. Today it's me because I'm here. They just move on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So actually what it does by accepting these different cultures is it causes more chaos and more disunity. That's the bottom line. And I'm not talking about, hey, it's freedom of religion, you can go and do whatever you want. But when you're in this space, no, you don't get to do that. If you don't like that, leave. There's nothing wrong with saying that. All right, there's nothing wrong. And you can maintain that. Like, I know people that go over to Dubai, they're Western, they're from the UK mainly, a lot from the US, and Dubai says, these are the rules. And they go, okay. And they live a great life there. And there's no complaining about Dubai. Complain, you can leave. It's really that simple. But for some reason, only the United States and the UK have this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Only the UK and the US get berated when they want to maintain their own culture. Every other culture is great. Every other culture can have their little thing. But if you're from the UK or the USA, then you cannot say that you love your country, that you love your culture, and you don't want it to change. The UK is utterly unrecognizable from what it was in the 70s. It's unrecognizable from when I left, but if you go back now and look at that, look at pictures of the 70s and then pictures now, it's completely different. And it's not better. It's got richer. It's got more multicultural. It's absolutely gone downhill. The moral fabric of it is gone. That Bonnie Blue is British, right? Good job. It's not as clean. You've imported the third world, and you will become the third world if that's what you do. If you import the third world, you will become the third world. Very simple. Go look back at the pictures of the 1940s where we had infinitely less amount of money. I'll go back and I'd live there today. If you gave me a button, I could go, boom, 1940, 1930. I'll go back there in a heartbeat. I think that people are seeing now that there is something very, very, very wrong with our society. And if we don't resolve it ourselves, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. We are entitled to say, this is our home. I don't want you in it. We're entitled to say, if you're going to step foot in my house, you abide by my rules. What is wrong with that? We're entitled to say, I'm caring about the people in my home before I care about everybody else. I don't think there's a person on the planet that would argue with that. I'm going to get my own house in order before I help anyone else. That is sensible. But we're called all kinds of names when we say this. They want chaos. They want disunity. They want fighting between each other because it gives them an opportunity for more control. But they don't understand that they're not going to control this. This is the hubris. There's a reason why. Think about this. Jesus already died on the cross. The victory, it's done. He wins. The devil still thinks that he can win. Just remember that. The victory's already won. But the devil thinks that he can still win. And he's still playing to win. And he will continue to play to win. So, my beautiful people, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Please like, subscribe. If you feel compelled to support by having a membership or gifting memberships, I'm very, very grateful. Go over to X. If you're on X and you don't say, I don't want to go and support, Google, there's a subscription right there. You can subscribe. There you go. You can do that. I want to thank you if you want to support this channel. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the content. You guys are amazing. Please comment. Please let me know what you think. And, be bold, guys. Be bold. You're good people. We shouldn't be hiding our beliefs. We shouldn't. Nobody else is. So why shouldn't we? So, again, I'll be here tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. And I'll see you then. And remember, what have you got to remember? For those of you that aren't on here, you can see on the messages, what do you got to remember? You guys tell them. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.